Hello everybody, my name's Chris Unger here in California at Car Crazy. I've got a 1926 Model T Ford that I want to show you. We decided to put it on a YouTube. We had so many questions about how it ran and what have you. The car was completely restored in 1985. Body off, frame up, every nut and bolt, even down to the clips and the engine splash pans, which I put in the eBay, but a very, very complete, original, 100% restored. That include all the drivetrain, bearings, and what have you there. I'm going to start the car and drive it a little bit here, but first I'd like to point out the quality of the restoration. There's a few items on this car that are special and accessories. One being the accessory front bumper, front and rear bumpers on the car. It does have a Model A horn mounted here for, you know, it's not the correct Model T horn, and as you can see, it's a black and yellow plate car, which would have been, it gives it history here in California since the 60s. Very nice body. No patchwork whatsoever anywhere on the car. The bottoms of the doors are clean, usually from the, if it's ever been rusty or something where it bends over the infrastructure frame, it will have the bulging from the rust. This has absolutely none, as you can see here. And if you can see here, there's just no separation whatsoever. Just a super body. I can't say it was always a California car, but we can say it was here from the 60s, which is about half of the battle. The wood wheel is an earlier style. It would have a regular black wheel in 1926. It is equipped with a accessory foot throttle, which of course Model Ts, if everybody knows that they are a steering column mounted throttle on these. Well, that's an accessory part. Again, the beading on the fenders is perfect. There isn't a dimple or anything anywhere in the car that is worth mentioning. The car has its original floor pans in it. Mickey, if you can come in here. And what you're seeing is the guy didn't want to put the battery down in the case, which is way down in the frame, because it was too heavy for him. So he brought some cables up and put it here. But the original frame and the original business is down in there to put it back if you want to put your battery in a place where you can't hardly get at it. This is a box of things that was the restoration. There's a manual in there, the different things that he spent money on, and this goes back to when the guy purchased the car in '83. I noted that in my eBay ad that Henry Ford was known for using up all the material that there was, and the crating was not excluded. He would have incoming pieces and parts that were crated, and he would take that wood and repurpose it for his own cars and what have you. This is totally undisturbed. Nobody has ever taken that back piece apart. It's still got the square nuts, and it's still got all the business there. And up in the corner, you can actually see a stencil that is that was from whatever, it's 20 gallons it reads on it. So it was in some type of a tank book or whatever. Original key, both ignition and the trunk lid is original key. And again, if you look at the integrity of the metal on this car, it's absolutely unbelievable. If you were looking for a great example to put in a collection, this is it. Again, the accessory bumper in the rear, black and yellow plate. It does have an additional light here, which wasn't factory, and the reflector. The windows roll down with ease, and the doors operate and shut perfectly. Just a neat old car, and I guess the map light would have been something. I'm not sure. I think the map light might be different. It's got a broken door strap here that is available from Labani. The interior was Labani material, and and it would appear the headliner and everything was, and the seats were professionally put in. I got some, listen to that door. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. Under the hood is very stock. Don't move around too fast there so we can really see it. It looks like it may need a secondary wiring harness here. This looks a little shabby and what have you, but that's the one coming from the box down to the timer, and hasn't got anything to do with the ignition wiring or anything like that. The car runs off the mag also, which is kind of a rarity for, stay on the motor there, kind of a rarity for Model Ts. Now, an indication on a Model T that would make you believe it had low mileage is when you take off in the forward gear on these cars. If it's an unrestored car that wasn't done properly, or a real fine original. But anyway, the point is when you depress the pedal to go forward, a lot of totally restored cars will have a tendency to shudder, and that's just part of the Model T planetary gear transmission. This car, and a sign that it had low mileage always was the car to start moving without that shudder, and this car does this. So my guess would be it was a low mileage car to begin with, and then restored in the 80s. Talking about was right here. When I go forward